That's dope.
And we,
Um, did you ever think about like what would your life would still be like if you were still a Christian?
yes, I do. Um, I mean, I think there'd be one of two like scenarios for me. I don't see my Christian life panning out any other way.
Yeah.
Uh, Either I'm like still super depressed and more suicidal than before, which I mean, honestly, I probably would have tried harder.
Hmm.
But I mean, the other option would be like, think like I don't know, trying to pursue school somewhere else because obviously Nebraska Christian didn't pan out. But like, I think it was something for me that was like, yeah, I was like super depressed because I was beating myself up constantly. But at the same time, like, it was my whole life. Like, literally every day of the week, I was doing something like Christian or church related.
Yeah.
So I see either like a really negative outcome or a really positive one where I'm like still super involved. So
There's like a I don't know. There is something about the sense of community that you get from a church.
yeah,
And like it's hard to get that anywhere else. Like the workplace you have to work it has to be super cool. And they have to be your age and shit like that. And it can't be like crazy high strung. Like the people when I was working at LifeBridge, the only other friends that I had would be people at Discount Tire, and they weren't like we weren't on the same kind of wavelength, if that makes sense. Like these were like, dude, these were like 15, 16-year-old kids. And here I am, old man Rivers. And he's like, whoa, everyone, like literally every time it's like, hey, David, how long have you been working here? I'm like 5 years. And they're like, holy, like they can't even imagine
right.
a quarter of their life.
Yeah,
So it was just so, and then when I left, it was just so hard to make friends. Look, I'm so blessed with blessed. I'm thankful. I'm grateful for the workplace I have now. Even though I'm not entirely digging. We'll get into that in a minute. I'm not digging like selling cars is so hard.
yeah,
It is so hard. Yeah, I love the challenge of it. And then if like some days, some weeks, you only make like $200. But yesterday alone, I made $300 just that day.
wow,
Like it literally like $300 like that, and it was super easy. So it's just is it is what it is. So it's
I love that sense.
yeah. So it's just but the really great things about it, it's like besides the money, and as I'm getting older, money's just less and less important to me.
Less important to you,
Mm-hmm.
huh?
Money's getting less and less. Like don't get me wrong, like I'm thinking strategically about my money. Like I want to retire well and I want to buy a house and all that. Like I'm not thinking about that. But when we and think about all the jobs you've had, Cayman, and some of them you liked, and some of them you hated. But for the most part, you did them for money.
Yeah.
And I think, like at our age, we have this luxury of like, okay, there is a certain freedom in pursuing what you want. So this is part of what I want. This, what we're doing here, this, and what we're trying to write. I won't reveal any details, or I mean, we can like little things,
No, not yet.
but okay. I should start with by saying this is Cayman. Cayman has been my friend for
9 years.
9, going on 10 years.
Yeah.
And we met at the Rivercrest retreat.
Yeah.
And you, the only reason we didn't, because you didn't go to the mission trip in,
Yep.
Mexico. You didn't go.
Was the only one of that friend group that did not go. You want
Yeah,
to know?
heartbreaking.
I don't know why.
Why?
My parents. So I was gonna go to prep the next year,
Yeah.
and my parents, because I was going from OPS to a private school, they wanted me to meet kids there at the school before. So they signed me up for a summer weight training class, and that's what I had to go to. Because I had that to make friends instead of go on a fun mission trip with everybody else that I knew. Yeah.
Weight training.
Yeah.
So Cayman, we've known each other for. We went to college together, dude.
Shoot.
The pictures you sent me,
From the college?
crazy how much we've changed, man.
No. I mean, I still pretty much look the same, just with shorter hair.
But your face is cleared up.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I look fatter, but
Like a toned fat.
yeah, like a toned fat. You're right. Like a fat that has purpose. So, like, yeah, this is the kind of fat I was going for. Um, so my buddy Cayman, man, we had some. We grew up in the. That's how we met, is through our church youth group,
Mhm.
and it just took off from there. Like me, I feel like me and Cayman became instant friends.
Yeah.
We were both super. I mean, I was kind of wacky, but
That was only around like other people though.
yeah, when you get me alone, I'm pretty chill. But when I'm with other people, I get fucking deranged. Like
I feel like I have to like put on a show.
Exhibit A,
Let you know I'm the funniest in the room.
Exhibit A. What was it? The party when I met Emily. I went over to that house to play some Catan.
Yes.
On a show, man. I still don't know why I do that. I just do. I just do that. It's like a childhood insecurity blanket. It's like that's what I did as a kid, and when I get really nervous, that's what I do.
Yeah.
It's what I did as a kid to get attention and shit like that. So, yeah, um, yeah. But Cayman and I's story is like we met in youth group. We went to Puerto Rico in that mission trip together, which is crazy.
Convinced an entire group of white kids from what was like South Dakota or something that were also going to Puerto Rico. That
Yeah,
the place was littered with these things called bandersnitches.
bad
You don't know they aren't real.
Bandersnatches. We'll get that. I have to introduce you. And the thing that Cayman's just he's just such a chill dude. Like that's a like if someone's like, hey, how do you describe Cayman? And it's like, yeah, he's just chill. He's a chill dude.
Like, oh, you froze.
Is it my internet that was acting up or yours?
Uh, I have no idea.
Weird. Anyway, um, yeah, he's a chill dude. And then from there, we went to college. We both flunked out, and then we became. Then we kind of like there was a year or so where we're kind of like did our own thing, and then me and our other friend Kolb, David Kolb, we rented a house. I love that house.
The house is awesome.
I love that house. And then I think you were the first member we had a no, no. You moved in eventually, I feel like.
Yeah, it was you, Paul, and Nate, and then I moved in.
And then Nate moved out, didn't he?
Yep. And then Noah moved in.
You
No,
slept in the basement though, I remember that.
dude, that basement was huge.
And dude, that was my favorite bathroom. that one downstairs, the black toilet.
I don't know
There's
why.
this there's this toilet down there's this bathroom downstairs. It's like a plain Jane house. It's really nice. It's wood and it's just it's modest.
Mhm.
And then you go downstairs and then you see this bathroom and it's like stepping into it's like a strip club. Like you're stepping into a strip club. It was purple.
Yeah, I
It,
was gonna say, wasn't the walls like pink or purple or
yeah,
something?
the walls were purple. It had one of those bowl sinks.
Mm-hmm.
It had a black toilet, so your poop looked super brown. Like the contrast was like awful. It's like that's not the contrast we're going for. That's not the contrast I need. But it just be super brown, like just in the toilet. And then it had a stand-up shower, and then it had my favorite thing about that whole bathroom was its heat lamp.
Yeah, I
I would
remember that
bring a
being.
towel down there, man. I'll just be so lazy.
I remember that being your favorite thing because you'd always leave it on, and I'd wake up.
I do. I do. I had
I
a
would like
horrible
eight out of nowhere. I'm like, what the fuck?
habit. I would always leave it on after, and I wouldn't bring a towel, and I just wait for the heat to evaporate it off my body. That was good. That was good times, man. We had some crazy times in that house, man.
Dude,
Yeah, but that's how I know Cayman. And then we became roommates again because I left for San Diego on this trip, and then I came back, and then I stayed in the basement,
mm-hmm.
the old switcheroo. The only thing really bad about that was I didn't have a bed for like a year, like a solid year. Like ever when I came back, I don't know what the hell happened to my other bed. I forgot. What happened to that other bed? Like I had a bed in my room.
Didn't you borrow a cot from Aaron?
No,
No.
that was my dad's cot, the one I was sleeping on downstairs. But I'm trying to remember what bed I used in the Chicago house. It doesn't matter,
Yeah.
but
Hmm. Weird.
because I remember having a bed,
Mhm. You definitely did.
but I don't remember how it. I don't remember anything about it, like how it looked, anything like that. That's kind of crazy. Anyway, um, so yeah, then we became roommates again, and then I moved off to Colorado. Yeah. So I mean, that's our friendship in a gist. But let's go back to Puerto Rico. Let's. We went on a mission trip to Puerto Rico junior year, sophomore year.
Sophomore summer into junior year, yeah.
Yeah. And we went on this mission trip. We wrote support letters. I hated that.
Tough.
That was the worst thing about being a Christian. It's like, man, I don't want to write these support letters.
Yeah, and I wrote like Like they wanted us to write. They said I think like 50.
Yes. And I'm like, bro, I don't even know 50 people.
Right. I was scrapping to find as many people as I could, so I wrote like I think 30. And then out of nowhere, they were like, write 100, and I was like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. Damn, boy. We should also preface this that me and Cayman were surrounded by rich white people, honestly. Like, if I'm being frank, it was really privileged. And
Yeah.
so, like, for them, raising money was no problem. I think even Miss Gosling gave us some money
Right,
to
dude. I
talk about the trip.
was asking most of the people I asked in my family because I was like, they're not gonna be able to
Dude,
help.
my family's broke, man. They ain't gonna give me dick.
Right.
My dad didn't even give me money. I don't think.
Yep.
Which is fine. I didn't really care. But they just had this weird.
So
Anyway, so we went on that thing. We stayed in this weird, if I'm remembering correctly, did we stay? I'm getting Miami and Puerto Rico kind of. No, it was a big open room. It was a church.
it was like a huge open room, no anything in the whole room. There was zero things, and then you had like, because it was us and then a group from California.
Nebby swag. I think about that weirdly like yesterday. I was thinking about that. I was like, Nebby swag. That's what they
Like,
call us.
I do remember that now.
That's
Wow.
what they called us, Nebby swag.
I remember we were on the bus with them going somewhere, and like because they were from California and had no idea what the rest of the country's like, they were asking us if we knew who Justin Bieber was because we were from Nebraska.
Yes, they were asking us all this weird crap, and I'm like, I mean, we're if you saw Omaha,
Right.
you'd be like, oh yeah, this is just a normal city.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's so funny. And then
Nebby's.
yeah, I mean, we basically went there to play with kids. And then I don't know why we just picked the nicest places too. We're like Puerto Rico, Miami. I definitely had a problem with that
Yeah.
because man, if I'm gonna go on vacation, I'm just gonna go on vacation. I feel
Right.
like,
We're
and then
gonna
in Miami, go ahead.
go to Omaha or something. Like
Yeah,
there's so much around us. But yeah,
yeah. I mean, we did a mission trip here in Omaha or in Omaha over there.
I do remember doing that.
Urban plunge. That was neat. It
I
was when
did.
the floods were happening. We had floods. The Platte River was flooding.
Mm-hmm.
And we were stacking up sandbags.
Yep.
And I think someone was trying to take a picture of me, carry two, and I couldn't. I was too skinny. And so they just took a picture of me failing to carry two sandbags. That's the trip I got yelled at for sitting on a girl's lap. It's like Dan had it. He's like,
Whose whose lap did you sit in?
you remember Emily
Yeah.
Mallory's son?
Yeah. Emily.
I
Yes.
think I'm sitting on her lap, and he's like, David, get off her lap. And I was like, okay, all right. And then he had this like hour-long conversation with me afterward.
Yikes.
That was weird. I'm glad he told me that. I was faggy. I was like, oh, I'm gonna sit on these girls' laps, but in reality, it's like, oh, I'm getting attention from these girls when it's really like, no, David, they're giving you attention because they think you're a certain way. Yeah, I was so thankful that Dan yelled, and I never sat on a girl's lap again after that. Never.
It's probably for the best.
Oh yeah, yeah. I do all weird shit like that all the time. I was dumb.
Have you tried it the other way around since? Like it was a girl sat in your lap.
Uh, toward the towards my end of my junior year, a girl sat on my lap. She had she was Jewish. I
Oh,
won't say her name. She had the biggest butt. Like I didn't realize the huge differences. Like she had a bigger butt, but it wasn't like huge. But
mhm.
when she sat on me, it was just cushion on my leg. And I'm
Oh,
like, and I was thinking is like, wow, this is great. And I was also thinking like, wow, girls really do have bigger butts than we do. Like, are not like usually. Like
mhm.
when you see a UFC fight and they're like punching each other or they're on the ground, and you see the bigger butts and you're like, oh yeah, girls do have bigger butts than we do. Like even if they're not like big, they're like always bigger than ours.
Yeah.
Like I have a piddly little butt. Like I don't have much butt. I wish I had more butt
How about you?
because apparently girls like that.
Depends who you ask, but yeah, most of the time, yeah.
Most girls like a like not like a just a healthy butt.
Yeah, they, you notice it. You're not like, damn, shawty, but you notice it.
Yeah, yeah. I think girls just like big butts in general.
Remember Sammy? Was that her name? From, no, it wasn't Sammy. It might have been Sammy. But
From
she
who?
was from Mississippi at NC. Was that her name?
Drew's wife?
No.
That's that's
She
the Sammy I know.
was with, I think she was with Jed.
Yes. Yes, you're right. It is
Her?
Sammy.
Okay, okay. She, I remember, she was like, we'd be like sitting in the lobby, a whole group of us, and she would just like wait for some dude to walk by and like talk about his butt after he left. She was like really into dude butt.
I would that's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're into it like that much, like what if I did that and it was like, man, that girl had a fine ass. They get all offended. But
Yeah.
she does whatever. You
Yeah.
know? Yeah. Ugh. I did weird shit with women, man. I just did some weird. I don't know how to interact with them, so I was just like, just be as weird as possible, and it just freaked him out. I'm like, no, wait, come back. I'm not that weird. Like, yeah, I'm pretty weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, dude. I just, yeah, women are weird.
Very.
Anyway, Puerto Rico. That was a rabbit trail. Puerto Rico. There was that one, like waking up. It was like always super moist everywhere, and then you'd wake up.
It's like
It's
I think constantly it was like only a couple points off from where like the humidity is just straight up point like water in the air. It was only a couple points off from that constantly.
what was the name of that really cool guy? So we had this really cool guy on the trip.
Garrett.
Garrett, dude, he was the man.
Is it Garrett?
I think you're close. He was red hair.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, we'll say Garrett.
All the girls loved him. They loved him.
He was a baby.
Everyone did. Everyone did though.
Yeah.
Dude, I did this fucking, and I had someone a couple years ago. I had someone ask me to do this, and I was like, no, no, not in a million years. I'm just getting old enough to the point where like I don't do cringy shit anymore. Well, I mean, I still do cringy shit, but not as much.
Yeah.
And I did this pterodactyl thing.
Mm,
You remember that?
yep. I remember that. And the other thing that you did on that trip.
What other thing?
Um, I can't remember the bit now. Wow. But you were at the airport and you were like, fucking.
Oh my god, dude. Okay. So he's talking about. I was. How did that come up? Like people started thinking that was really funny, but it was just me. Like I was. Oh, so we were doing games with the niños, and we're doing like a relay race something, and then I just get so into like 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 I'm not really a huge fan of like football or anything like that, but like if there's a sport happening right in front of me and some little kids just giving it their all, I just have to yell. I have to motivate them. And that's what like I did in high school too. When someone would run past me, I didn't do it to be funny. I did it because like they needed it. Like I wanted to say it.
The context of when you actually did it versus when they made you do it.
Yeah, it was more genuine because I really like that's how I felt.
Right.
So I would do this thing where it'd be like the motivational coach on the sideline. I'd be like, "You gotta want it, you gotta want it. Only in America, only." Well, I mean, this is a U.S. territory, but you get it. And so I said it then, and then people just kept making me do it, and I just yelled at this poor girl at the airport. I think that video is still running around
But
of me just and in front of like this, like she was getting food, and I was like, and there's all these like staff, and they're like, what the hell's going on? And I'm just yelling, and then she's like, okay, this is the weird part. So after I got done yelling at that girl,
mhm.
she's like, I want it. It's the fucking weirdest thing. I was like, you gotta want it, you gotta need it, you gotta want it. Food sustains you. And then I was just yelling, like spitting in her face. And she just stayed completely calm. And she's like dead serious though. I want it. She was cute too. So it was just weird. I was like, I was like that plankton meme. I was like, I didn't think we'd get this far.
Oh man.
Tell these folks about the freaking Bandersnatch, man. How did
Oh.
that how did that come about?
Um. Well, it started with you. Uh. You like. It didn't really catch on to me until we went canoeing to that.
Mm.
But but yeah, you like kept like dropping it like here and there. I think you like you saw it like on some Nickelodeon show or something like that. But you kept saying like, look, there's a Bandersnatch. Like, look out, Bandersnatches. And I would just like laugh, but I just did not know what you were saying. So I was like, um, but yeah, then so we, what was it, our last day there?
It was one
There,
of the last
one of
days
the last days that we were there. We,
because in the Christian world we have like when we go on a mission trip to somewhere nice, we have like a fun day, which I really don't mind, but it's just like 45% of the trip goes to paying for that fun day. Like 45% of your fundraising goes to paying that fun day. Anyway, tell them, man. Tell them the story.
yes. So we were gonna go canoe up like it was like an hour long one way to this bioluminescent bay. Puerto Rico is home to three of them, I
Yeah.
think. There aren't that many in the world, but in these lakes, like there's this special algae that if you touch the water or like move in the water, that it glows, so it looks like the water's glowing, but it's really just algae. It's pretty cool. It's really cool. But we were canoeing through, and we are all uh, like in these two-person canoes. So me and David were in one, and then everybody else teamed up with
Your
their.
mom and Michaela or Annabelle was behind us.
Yeah, I remember my mom's in one of those two being in one.
Oh, she's like, dude,
Yeah,
come! Like she kept hitting, or like we kept hitting her, and she kept. It's either she was in front or behind, and we kept hitting her.
well, no, yeah, she was in front of us. Well, because she was going like super slow and like
I'm like, come on.
hitting her boat, and I was like, dude, let's get it. But it was like this really, it's pretty narrow, and on either side there's like overhanging like trees,
Yeah, dude.
little river that we're canoeing an hour up, and I don't remember at what point it started happening, but I remember hearing thuds in boats, and I was like,
Oh,
what the hell is that? What is?" And then like
oh.
I don't remember who it was, but it was a few boats up from us. They started screaming, and we were like, "What is going on?" And at this point, like we just it was pitch black. Like this was in the middle of the night, so we had no idea.
Yeah, dude.
Luckily, it didn't happen to us. But then this dude brings up the freaking Bandersnatches, and my dumbass was like, "Oh, dude, let's. I'll now play along with it and pretend that these things jumping out of the trees, which were actually giant spiders,
Yeah, huge spiders.
spiders jumping into our boats. We'll just pretend that those are Bandersnatches." And so me and David, the whole time, are just like screaming, like at the top of our lungs, Bandersnatch, Bandersnatch. And I like some of the people like started to believe us because they kept asking us later on, like, what are Bandersnatches? Are they real? And yeah, then after that when we were leaving, like back at like
Hold on. You're missing a super important detail.
what?
What
Oh,
what happened when we got to the bioluminescent lake?
I it just didn't have to do with Bandersnatches. That's why I was.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But um, on there's a T-shirt out there that we all signed from that trip.
Yes.
Mine is the only one with a nickname on it. It says Caymen Lagoon Jackson.
Lagoon.
Yes. You want to know why? And I put Lagoon in quotes. And I bet you, to this day,
Oh,
everybody who went on that trip know why Lagoon is in
I
my.
I know what I know. Tell him.
So let me remind you, this one-way trek to the lake was an hour long. It was an hour long,
Hold on.
and I had to pee from the get-go. And so when we're getting there, the tour guides are like, "All right, when we get there, it like the place, like literally when you get there, like how like the trees were like overhanging, super narrow. As soon as you get to the lake, it's just vastly like it's just open water, no
Yeah.
trees, like just beautiful. I would have loved to sing during the day, but I had to pee, and they were like, "All right, when you get there, you stay in your boats. You can like paddle around a little bit. Don't get too far. Don't get in the water. You can splash around, but try to keep to your boat. Try to keep close." So you're like, "All right, yeah, yeah, whatever." We get there, and I've got to like, I'm about to pee my pants, man. Like, I don't want to pee my pants with another dude in the boat. Had I been in my own boat, I might have thought about it, but it wasn't gonna happen. So I jumped into the lake and I urinated in that lake, in that lagoon. And one of the tour guides saw me,
They're right on you, dude.
and I was like, "Oh shit!" Gotta come up with an excuse as to why I'm in the water. Don't want to admit I'm peeing right now.
What did you tell him, Kevin?
I told him, I thought it was crypt. And I fell out of my boat. And this dude is like grabbing me, trying to pull me into the boat as I'm still peeing. Still peeing. So at that
Like,
point,
okay, give me a second. Yeah, give me a second.
dude, at that point, I was like, okay, he didn't bite at me telling him I'm cramping, so I'll sell him on this. And I started to like fake moan. I was like, like I was in pain. And then I finally got back in the boat.
You really sold it, man.
But
The terrible thing was I had to pee as well. And so the plan was, it's like, all right, Cayman, you jump into the water.
yep.
And then like you were the only, and I had to hold it the whole time back.
Yeah, I felt bad.
I literally ran to the bathroom. I was like, oh.
Well, because wasn't the bus ride there like a long way too?
Yeah, everything was a long way.
But yeah, and then continuing with the Bandersnatch, we once the trip was over, I think we landed in Dallas, the Dallas airport,
Mm-hmm.
and there was another big Christian group going there,
Yeah.
and we were talking with them for a little bit, so we had quite a long layover, and then me and David started talking about Bandersnatches
Yeah, dude.
besting Puerto Rico. Told them all to watch out.
I was that the trip someone had a seizure, like in the airport?
In the airport?
Uh-huh.
I don't remember. No, I think that was probably Miami.
I think no. I think it was the Nicaragua trip.
Or Nicaragua. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, it wasn't Puerto Rico.
Anyway, um, you know where I got Bandersnatches?
Where?
From the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy,
All right.
and they talk about Bandersnatches. I forgot. I'm surprised I forgot because I usually have a good memory about these things, but I forgot exactly what they were. What it was for.
You mentioned you saw it somewhere, and I was like, yeah, all right, dude, cool.
Cool.
And
Yes.
then just ran with it.
Dude, what a good time.
Great. Almost died there
Why?
in the ocean. We had our fun day.
Dude, your mom was so mad at me. She was gonna kill me.
Yeah, I could see that.
She's like, "Where's Cayman?" I'm like, "I don't know. I think he went to the bathroom." He's like, "What do you mean he went to the bathroom?" I'm like, like I said, went to the bathroom." Your mom got pretty heated with me. I was like, "Ooh."
Wait, was it at the beach?
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember we played a prank on her as if I was gone. That was cringy.
Yeah, there's some stuff that you just don't joke about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like one time, I called my mom that while I was in the Boys and Girls Club, and I was like, "Mom, they're shooting up the place." Dude, I'm such a little asshole.
Oh my God. Oh my
And
goodness.
she started flipping out, and then I was like, "No, Mom, I'm just kidding." And this is literally,
That's morbid.
this is literally like right after the
This is the Von Mall shooting.
the bomb. Literally that week, I did that.
You're a terrible human being.
Dude, I was such a little because it's that whole insecurity blanket thing. Like when I need attention or something, this is so me. When I need attention or something, I'll do this crazy shit. I'll act out in this crazy way just so someone can notice me.
Dude, I'm glad you brought up, well, I brought up the beach because I remembered something that happened with you. Actually, now two things that was hilarious.
What happened?
The first bit, you remember the hotel that was there on the beach, like
Yes.
the fancy hotel? We went in to go to the bathroom.
What happened? What happened?
So I think I went in there first, and like I just look, and like there are these gigantic like glass stalls, and I was like, I don't even have to poop, but I'm going. Like I need to do this. And like we're talking like glass to where like just like dudes do in urinals where they stand one apart because they don't want to see the other guy. You had to do that in these stalls. But then enters David Ramirez. And this guy has to be.
I have to poop.
And he comes and he sits in the stall right next to me. And we're both sitting there. Two,
I can see your silhouette. I mean, it's just a little stained.
yeah, you can see the silhouette of, you can tell what complexion they probably are. Like
Yeah.
that's, and we at the same time put our hands up against the glass and touch.
You can see
You can literally see it.
lines in your hands. I remember that. It was like a horror movie. You slapped it against the wall, and I literally saw the lines in your hands and everything. I had a heart attack. Well, I did. I knew you were there. Like I was just laughing so hard.
That was hilarious. The other thing was hilarious, and I remember this probably like a week ago, just in the middle of the night, just like out of nowhere, just remembered for
Yeah,
what.
that's how the best memories come. It's like, oh yeah, what happened?
But we were at the same place eating dinner, and everybody was ordering stuff,
Oh my god. Okay, go ahead.
and Annabelle and Michaela got some like chips and salsa.
Oh my god. It's like, go. You can just tell it. Damn it.
So before the trip, like all our money went to like the regular meals and like based like living situations and stuff. But on our fun day, it was always like noted like, hey, if you want to buy stuff like food and like other things on the last day, like bring your own money. You can do what you want. So this is the last day. We're at this fancy hotel getting dinner, and again, Annabelle and Michaela ordered some chips and sauce. And David just starts eating them. Keeps eating. Keeps eating. Nobody's saying anything at this point. We're just trying to have conversation. Well, at least David's trying to have conversation. The other two are trying to figure out what the heck he's doing. Because this dude literally ate their entire plate of chips and salsa. They pay for it.
That is one of the most painful things I can remember. Like, and they were like, "Stop!" And I was like, "Yeah, let me get in them chips. Let me get in them chips." And they're trying to stop me, and they were like, "You have to ask." And I was like, "I thought they were for the table." That's literally what I said, and you guys literally laughed forever.
This dude
You're
ate.
telling me. Okay. You're telling me that if they bring you chips, they're for the table.
Not everywhere.
Most Hispanic places I've been, they're for the table. And they were trying to, and they're serious, dude. They're like, stop. And I was like, yeah, let me get them chips. Let me get in there. You have to ask. And I was like, I thought they were for the table. Oh,
Oh,
one of the
man.
worst days of my life.
I cried. That was too yeah, I
Oh,
don't know bad and nowhere, but
oh my gosh.
it was
That was some pain, man. That was some pain. Oh, dude. It's hard to think about. It's really hard to think about.
I'm sorry I brought it up, but it was
No, it's funny. It's funny. It was just so funny how I was like, oh, such a like to them, I was being the biggest douche, and to me, I was just being David. I'm like, yeah, you ain't gonna keep them chips away from me.
this oops, gonna get some chips.
Get some chips, get some dips. Oh man, that was funny. Oh man, woo, not my brightest moment. Yeah, man, that was a really great trip.
It was. It really was.
Would you want to go out of the country again?
Do I want to go out of the country again?
Yeah.
For that? Like for a mission trip purpose? Or just out of the country?
I don't like getting out of the country if it's for a mission trip.
Yeah, I would love to get out of the country. Actually, after I finish culinary at Metro, if I can find the opportunity to, I want to pursue further in the culinary arts in Puerto Rico.
You go other places, but yeah, I guess.
I want to go there.
You remember like the first day we got there? Or no, the night we came back from the canoe trip, the dance floor was loaded and there was people just
Oh yeah.
and I so badly, I just wanted to get in there. It's like, yeah, like this like sophomore, junior, yeah, and this little oh man. Good times though. That was a good time. Yeah. Yeah. I just so you know, yeah, leaving the country without any intention, like any ministry, anything like that, it's the best, man. I mean, if it's, I need to say this correctly, but like when I left the country, so I left the country twice last year. No, the year before. No, last year before, I don't remember. Once I went to the Dominican Republic, and there was this expectation that I was like, "Hey, David, you got to be working. You got to be doing the camera." I was like, "I don't know how to work a camera." That was the expectation my boss had of me. He let me go on the trip for really cheap, but I was like, "Dude, I don't know how." He's like, "You need to pull your weight." I'm like, "I don't know how to work a camera. What are you doing?" So it was like a horror show, you know.
Takes away from like you
It
being
takes away from the experience. We're just teaching these kids baseball, and he's like, "Look, man, this kid can run circles around me, and he throws an 85-mile-per-hour pitch. I don't need, I don't need to teach him anything."
right. Yeah.
But it was about like the whole Jesus thing and things like that. They had this really cool complex they made. Like it had baseball, basketball, and a lot of kids in the DR they think they're all going to be baseball players. And then when Major leagues. We visited the Kansas City Royals camp and the Chicago Cubs camp.
Wow.
They're huge facilities.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we do have a lot of players from the
Yeah.
DR.
And so these kids get drafted. They put them in English. They have English classes. I met a guy in the Kansas City Royals place. He never been to America. All he knows is the Dominican Republic. He speaks perfect English. It's
Really?
creepy how perfect his English was.
Hmm.
Like, hey guys, how are you doing today? And I'm like, what you want? Like I'm speaking like he speaks better English than I do.
Right. Yeah. That is always funny about other languages. Like when you learn them, you learn like, yeah, like, hey guys, how are you doing today? But nobody talks like that.
No.
A big reason why I don't like learning languages in a school setting. I'd
Yeah.
rather.
It's all about the immersion. You can't get any better than you doing immersion. That's what I've been thinking, like to work on my Spanish. I was thinking of just getting fully immersed, like no English for like a month or something.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be crazy.
That would help me out tremendously. Or even like imagine a year without English. That would help you out tremendously. Like you'd be speaking whatever language you wanted.
But my
You know,
brother
whatever.
learning German right now, so he wants to move to Switzerland someday.
Who?
Harris, my other brother.
He wants to move to Switzerland.
Yeah, so he's learning German.
They don't speak German in Switzerland.
It's like a German dialect, but anyways, it's German.
Oh,
You have to speak. There's like so many requirements for you to be able to live there, and that's one of them. Is you have to at least know the language.
what? You can't just move there?
No, they have laws, man.
Dang.
They're not a bunch of backwoods savages,
I wish they were. It's a nice country.
right?
The yeah, man. Where would you want to? Puerto Rico? That's well. I mean, I guess it's cool, but it's just such a weird place to choose.
Not the only place I would want to go. I would also want to go to Japan,
Dude,
and
Japan. I want to go to Japan so bad.
yeah, Japan
I
looks
love
sweet.
all of their anime crap, man. The things the Japanese make from like Toyota to freaking anime, like all of hentai, all of it. I admire all of it. So I had a friend of mine just go to Japan, and she hate like she wanted to go snowboarding, and then she was like, uh, and then her family went without her. She was mad, but then it turned out to be the best trip she's ever been on. I'm like, you're in Japan, of course.
Yeah,
When you have an expectation on when you set expectations for a trip, it makes it really hard to like. I'm glad she was able to turn it around. But like, if for instance, if I was going to Belize, I was like, we have to go to the Blue Hole or anything. I'm like, no, man. If you're along for the ride, it is so much fun, and you're just like, well, I don't know how we're gonna get there, but we'll figure it out. Like, I don't know how we're gonna get back home, but we'll figure it out. And it's that figuring it out. It just makes like it's this fun tension. Like instead of just sitting at a resort all day, that's boring. But when you have this like, ooh, how am I gonna get back home? It makes it so much more fun. It's like you remember that time we almost got lost, like just yeah. I just can't. If I ever went on a trip, I just could never. I could never stay at a resort. Resorts bore me.
Yeah, I I also don't like to be around a ton of people
Mhm.
all the time.
Dude, but freaking hostels, man, that's where it's at.
Really, because
That,
that's where you played at in for Belize, right?
yeah, hostels, that's where it's at, man. That's where the hot chicks are, and
Yeah.
they'll talk to you because they don't have any other options. Like it's wonderful. Hostels will be, and you meet such interesting people. I met people that edited like Deadpool. They edited freaking um, the Avengers movies.
What?
Yes, and they were like they take the summers off.
Dude, that's dope.
They were like, yeah, I just worked on Deadpool, and she showed me they were dating. They were both work, and she showed me Ryan. Uh, who's the Deadpool guy? Ryan Reynolds. They showed me a thank you video they sent them. He was completely serious. I've never seen him that serious before, and he just recorded it on his phone. It was so cool.
Wow.
Yeah, but they literally those freaking. I met people from New Zealand and England, and they just take the summer off. And I'm like, could imagine taking the summer off? That's what they do. They just take the whole summer off. And I'm like, imagine you still have a job to come back home to, and you take, yeah. It was so, they were so interesting. So if you're ever like, dude, you stay. I will never stay in a hotel ever again because you just, even though you feel like a little safer, even though it's not like much, it's not worth like the experience, man. It's just not worth it. Hostels are awesome, but yeah, man,
Nice.
yeah. So you're gonna go to culinary school.
Yep.
You're gonna be a writer. What are you writing again?
What am I writing currently?
Yeah.
Well, right now writing uh like a cartoon, short story, sci-fi, realistic drama type thing.
Mm.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. Um, I have like there's a lot of big picture things, like big picture ideas that are set in place. It's just when you finally get like to like trying to get like details in, then you notice like holes in other places where there weren't holes previously, and like it's just a lot of like come up with an idea, you got to backtrack, you got to connect that piece to this piece, and then you come up with another idea, and it's like, okay, I got to connect that piece to that piece and that piece, and it's just a lot of that. So it's hard work. It's a lot of hard work.
Sounds like it. Yeah, it is. Writing is such a like yeah, it's so hard to do right without any holes. Like there's always some holes. I'm like, well, but like the Avatar is perfect example of how well they mapped out the show. There's hardly any holes in it, man. There's hardly any holes in it. Um, yeah, they did such a good job. But yeah, man, that's awesome.
Yep.
Still trying to write for this one show. It's you know, kind of under wraps right now. But I'm still trying to. I the thing is, I wish I had. The thing is about like I'm so lazy. So when I think of something really funny, like there's some jokes they're gone. They're gone. They're never going to be used unless they somehow come back. And if I didn't write them down or anything like that, and they were hilarious. And like stuff for the show we're writing, there was some stuff I like couldn't write. And well, I didn't get around to writing it because I'm just so lazy. And now the ideas are gone. Now I have to start from scratch or think of something else. Or and
Yep.
it's you're not if we don't write things down, we're not even giving the idea a chance. You know, I need to be better with that.
Yeah, I do that a lot too, where I'm like, I'll come up with an idea, whether it's for, because I also like will occasionally write stand up too, and like I'll come up with an idea and like be like, oh, it's a great idea. I should save that, and then I just don't, or I'm like, it's it's a good enough idea. I'll just remember it.
Yeah, you never do.
It never happened ever. So yeah, I'm,
I wrote a stand-up bit and it's horrible. It's terrible. It's about online dating and how it's like, yeah, it's like it's. I'm trying to. It's the basic premise is online dating is a doghouse or it's an animal shelter. Um, there's some good dogs in there, but we all know why they're there.
that's pretty fun.
Thanks. That's all I have.
That's it. Just that one line.
Just that one line. I mean, I wrote out this thing, but I'm like, that's too fucking wordy, or it's too. It
Yeah,
doesn't. It's not right.
that's the other trick you gotta work out. Is like when is something like a one liner and when is something like an actual like idea or like a premise for you know a few jokes or like a story or whatever.
Yeah,
So
the stories I tell, it's like I don't even know if they're worthy for the stage, man. Even though I have interesting stories, it's like uh, I don't know. Are these better in conversation?
yeah,
What
yeah.
have you been writing? Tell me about your comedy.
Um, well, a lot of it's been like when I first started. I don't know why, because it's not really even like me. Like other people wouldn't describe me as this, but like I just came up with like the most like fucked up or like darkest things I could come up with, like these like super like whoa kind of like one liners. And the first time I did stand up, I just like presented a bunch of those, and it like I got some laughs, but like it was not great. Like I felt like I did horrible. And so a lot of it recently has just been like mostly me coming up with like stories or like presenting stories um, from my own life. Um, some of it is just kind of like me and like Christianity, like stuff like that, but not a whole lot.
I've thought a lot about that too, like crapping on Christian marriages. That'd be pretty funny to me because no one does it.
Yeah,
No one
yeah,
does it.
unexplored territory out there for sure.
I mean, people are like ring by spring, but I want to really, really shit on it.
They basically shit on themselves. Just listen to them.
Yeah. All right, man. I'm getting really tired. I got work in the morning. But hey, big shout out to your boy, Cayman Jackson.
What it is.
So much still to talk about.
Oh yeah.
You'll
This
be a
is
future guest
the first.
in future podcasts because we still have the whole. Oh, okay, so I was thinking of putting a podcast together, a separate one from the Sonder podcast.
Mhm.
It'd be you, me, Emily, and Abby, and we'd call it. We can change the name. I'm not married to it, but it's literally called Two Girls, Two Guys, and it's literally like our conversations we're having are just so interesting because we're of different genders and we're
Yeah.
trying to understand the other side. So I think I think that's something we can explore.
Yeah.
And Abby said she was like, "Yeah, that sounds good."
Yep. I'd be down. Emily's in a weird spot right now. It's just like I don't know, preoccupied is the word or what, but yeah.
With
Good
what?
luck. Good luck getting a hold of that one.
With what? What is she preoccupied with?
Uh, I think if I had to guess, it would be her boyfriend.
She has a boyfriend?
Yeah, and then I think work's been like having her work like every day too. Now that she's finally back, so
What a baby here.
I literally like tried to hit her up and like she ignored me for like a whole like 2 days, and then I saw a picture of her with her at home with her cats, and I was like, I just sent her a text that said, "Bruh, like what the heck?" Like,
Well, this is not gonna work. We need another girl.
yeah. So like I don't know. I I would still like to, but I'm just saying,
Dang it.
good luck.
I feel like okay, not I mean, if she doesn't want to do it, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'll just find someone else. But I feel like she'd be a good first
Yeah.
option because she's just she what she contributes to the conversation is good, you
Yeah,
know?
I agree.
And like all the conversations we had with the four of us have just been super interesting.
Mhm.
They've been super interesting. Like I wish I could go back and listen to them. So I'm gonna make I'm gonna make a few bothering emails. Be like, hey,
Please do.
you freaking cat lady. I'm trying to get you on a podcast so we can talk about interesting things.
Yeah,
Your cats. Whatever.
yeah. Oh, mention that we have Animal Crossing in it, and she'll be down.
And it's like, where's the Animal Crossing? It was like, up your ass. Let's start recording.
Sorry, yeah.
She's already there. It's like she has to record.
Oh man.
Show you some turnips, like.
Oh,
All right, man. I'll reach out to her, but yeah, that's looking bleak.
yeah,
But we should have done this off the record. But whatever, it doesn't matter.
it's
Hey, man. Thank you so much, Cayman, for speaking with me. You'll be a guest on future podcasts. We'll be
yeah.
writing together. Look out for. I won't say the name, but look out for.
Oh, oh. Wait, did you say it?
No, I didn't. Look out for a creation.
Yes.
Cayman directing. David, associate producer.
Executive.
Exactly. Emily, spiritual advisor. What was it? Score. You can't. What was it? The riding the horse or the Scorpio or something?
Oh, Sagittarius.
Oh yes.
Oh, freaking just hop on my Sagittarius.
It's like What'd you say? Sagittarius is a crab.
Yeah, something like that. It's not a. Apparently, Sagittarius is not a horse. I don't believe it, but
Who cares? Who cares? It's all a bunch of Jim Jumbo flim flam.
yeah,
It's weird because it's like yeah, I don't believe in this God or any the Bible, but it's like, oh yeah, your sign. What's your sign? It tells you everything about you. It's the same. It's literally the same mumbo jumbo.
yep. Stupid.
All right, Cayman, thank you so much for joining me.
Uh,
Look out for a creation. It's called. I'll say the name. You know, Cayman, you say the name.
it's called. I'm not gonna say the name yet because I'm not 100% sold on it. I'm like
Uh-huh.
not. I'm like 90.
Okay, name unnamed project. Me and him are collaborating on. It's not the podcast. It's something else. But Cayman, thank you so much for joining me. Good night, man. I'll hear from you soon.
Yeah,
And stay frosty. I don't know how to close this show.
yeah, I say that. That's yeah. Stay frosty.
Hey, stay frosty.
Stay frosty. Peace.
All right. Peace.